Good morning, everybody. It's January 24th, 2021, and I'm going through another week of the subreddit r/Cardano and the weekly top post for what's been going on in the Cardano community. Of the subreddit r/Cardano. Sorry about that. A little bit distracting to on echo. Yeah, so let's jump over to the subreddit. I have a 4-week-old baby on my lap because my wife just went out to grab a coffee, and we are streaming, so this should be pretty exciting for me anyways. I don't know about you guys. So here we are. Check it out. Looks like, I'm not sure how Reddit works. This is my first time kind of doing this, but if I select for top and this week, I think we discussed this last week. So I'm guessing that's interesting. This is the top post from the last week. 605 upvotes. This is probably one of the most upvoted things I've ever seen on this Reddit. And just goes to show you the kind of value that distilling information in an easy to consume format can have to people, right? All of this information was available in various places, but there is value in bringing disparate things together and representing them in a kind of clean and concise way. I almost worry that this is getting too complicated. The grand ultimate plus alpha, omega Cardano staking guide. I can imagine like this is a panel inside some other larger panel. And I think there's some kind of maybe like a series of things that this infographic might become. Kind of like what Husky does. I think Husky kind of publishes a set of slides, but there might be like the 101 version, 102 version, 103 version. I don't know if you can hear my baby grunting. Quite cute. I'm a happy daddy. So, but yeah, the Cardano staking thing is a little bit confusing with epochs. Every time I get a friend in real life to delegate, they're always like, okay, I'm looking forward to my rewards. And I'm like, I've explained to you so many times that like the reason you got to get staked now is because there's like a 15 or 20 day lag in getting rewards. And I'm like, what? I'm like, we've talked about this. So, I send them this thing. I'm really worried that like when you explain that to people, they think you're scamming them. They think like, why does it take so long to get rewards? And the way I try to explain to them is like, it's like your paycheck. Usually in most jobs, you work in January, you don't get paid till the middle of February. And so there's this kind of, I wouldn't call it slow. It is slow, but it's more of an offset, right? And the same way that if you quit a job in June, you still get paid in July. Yeah, baby might be sad. Baby's sad. Oh, no. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry, baby. We'll see how long we can do this for. Oh, this was a pretty cool post. I liked it. And presumably a lot of other people liked it because it's got 602 upvotes. Next one. Nephew is all in Cardano. This was cute. I think this is actually like I have a wallet for my kids that I set up that I've talked a few times about this change that I collect every month. Technically, I put that into a separate wallet. All the proceeds from that is part of their college fund or whatever for their future. And I think there is this there's probably some value in figuring out a kind of like smart contract system for delegating for these kind of long-term, like 10 to 20 year long, like wallets that you give to people. Of course you can kind of be a custodian, which is what I'm doing, and managing that wallet. But if you want to give ADA to someone who's not really going to maintain it so well, I know that is kind of antithetical to the whole like proof of stake and people need to make decisions kind of thing. But I do think there's some kind of space for like an auto-managed pool of pools type thing, which I believe Viper and some other people in the community are working on with those ADA folios, which would be pretty cool. And this guy I thought was really cool. They're from, a small, economically not so, rich country, Uzbekistan. He's put $10 into ADA, and, people were trying to donate to him, but he pointed out that he doesn't want to encourage that behavior. So that was pretty cool of him. Let's give him an upvote because I didn't do that. Moving right along, 72%. This, if you don't know what this is talking about, this is just saying if you go to Daedalus and you go to, I believe, the delegation tab, one of the tabs in Daedalus, you get this kind of display which shows the number of pools. Babies are sad. That are currently being. Can you hear me, Patrick? Is the audio working? Hello, Patrick. Let me know if you can't hear me in stream. It's showing that it is, but I'm actually live in Twitch and YouTube. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's going on YouTube. Okay, well I'll figure that out later. Not to interrupt the stream too much. I'm using Restream.io to stream to both of the platforms, so maybe something going on there. That's strange. Oh, if you missed it, I have my 4-week-old baby on my lap because my wife went out to grab a coffee. So that's what's going on there. So this, anyways, to get back to the content of the stream, there's 72% moving right along. This is the number of pool blocks that every epoch are produced by the decentralized network rather than, I believe they're the Byzantine fault tolerant nodes that IOHK set up back in the Byron era, basically, when it was not decentralized and it was just, the first thing they did was they made wallets and the ability to send and receive ADA through their network, right? And then in when Shelley was released back in, I think, August or July of the I was going to say this year, but last year, they released the ability for the community to step in and start producing stake or blocks through their stake pools. And I think this number started at like 10%. Only 10% of blocks were made there, and so we're getting there. We're more than halfway. We're almost 3/4 of the way there. And this was paused for a bit over the holidays because IOHK went on a much deserved vacation. And they probably could have automated this, but I guess they wanted to be, have their finger on the dial in case anything went wrong. But we're marching on to 100% of the pools to be produced by stake pools. And for those of you who are, always asking when Coinbase, it's theorized that, one of the main things that needs to require for Cardano to be listed on Coinbase is for it to be fully decentralized. There are a few examples people have said of coins that are not fully decentralized being listed on Coinbase, but that is the kind of current working hypothesis for why one of the oldest coins in the top 10 is not currently listed on Coinbase. Converted all my Ethereum, Ripple, and small cap bags to ADA. Yep. I'm curious how much people in the community. I'm the only crypto I hold is ADA. I probably should have some Bitcoin. That would probably make sense. Especially it's a baby, with the tendency for Bitcoin to charge up. If I was a more active trader, I think I would hold Bitcoin on its way up, rotate into ADA, wait for it to pump, and then rinse repeat. But I'm just I got tired of staring at my phone on Binance and worrying about swings in the market. That's a baby. I don't like people who put their babies on stream. I have a very small little nugget. She's 4 weeks old, but I'm a very proud dad, so I just had to show off my cute little baby. Yeah, Arabella. So Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. My wife just ran out to get our coffee because our espresso machine broke, and so I've got a 4-week-old baby for the first. She promised it was gonna be like 5 or 10 minutes. So this is probably the worst stream ever with a crying baby on stream. um, but yeah, you gotta do you. So that's me right now. Life with a baby. Oh baby. Oh sorry. So, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys currently holding in terms of ADA versus other cryptos? I'm like I said, I'm all into ADA. It's stupidly not diversified, and I put like 25% of my after-tax income every month into more ADA, and that goes into my pledge in my pool that I run. So that's fun stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I'm in this awkward pose now because I'm giving her my thumb to suck. Yeah. This is what it's like to be a 30 something, Patrick, and into tech and other stuff. Your hobbies don't get to take 100% of your time. DeFi on Cardano. I was curious. I saw this. I thought this was pretty cool. Someone was saying on Twitter that, you know, when we get more DApps on Cardano, potentially you'll see a lot of ADA leaving stake pools and going to other places to kind of earn more returns. And Liquid is saying you won't need to unstake your ADA to supply to the ADA market. DeFi on Cardano means you can keep your ADA staked and earn additional yield from interest on top of the base staking yield. I don't understand how that would work. If anyone has any ideas, it's like yeah. Well, I don't get it. Does that mean, I presume that means you would have to send your ADA to them and they would stake it for you and then they would lend it out to other people? Something like that. I'm not sure how that would be handled at the protocol level, that these other things would be able to be done with your ADA to lend out to other people and also continue to be staked. So maybe that's what they're talking about. I presume that this can't happen on the what do you call it, at the protocol level. Like the way rewards are distributed at the protocol level. I used to mine Litecoin back in 2012, and there were always these like stupid things happening where you join a pool of miners and then people would say that the pool was hacked and that, oh, the rewards this month or this week are not being, we gotta cut everybody's give everyone a haircut because hackers got into the supply. So I one of the main things I really like about Cardano is that rewards and pools are handled on chain at the protocol level, and there's never a pool operator between um, delegators and their money, right? That to me is like a super valuable thing, and I try to really hard. That's the only reason I'm really comfortable advertising or teaching friends and family about Cardano and trying to get them staked into my pool, because I don't want to be putting them financially at risk if I get hacked or I screw up, that kind of thing. So there's that. Yeah, you think to stake to one of their pools? Yeah, that's cool. Agree, Patrick. Totally. We'll see more. I mean, just on the top of Liquid, I think this was a Fund 2 catalyst project, or they got funded in round 2. Oh, I got my wife. Okay. Um, baby free for a little bit. A little bit. I can relax a little bit. Okay. Take a deep breath. Cardano full deployment on Gogan in Q2 provided tests are successful. I usually don't bother clicking any like URL that has crypto in the name because most of this crypto journalism is just so bad. I even stopped watching most of the YouTube channels that talk about Cardano when I realized like their content is all just they open a link and then they click it and they literally read an article to me. It's like, Jesus Christ, I don't need you to read for me. So what is this? What's going on? Try to read this quickly. And the AMA, and they usually get everything wrong too, right? Like, I don't know if you have to do this in school, Patrick, but the difference between a primary source and a secondary source, right? Just goes in Cardano's case, you can just directly listen to the AMA. Why the hell is anyone listening to this stupid stream right now when you could just get it directly from the horse's mouth? Yeah, yeah. I think what you probably want to do, Patrick, with that automated newsletter is aggregate like the official news sources. And, because IOHK's got a decent blog and, maybe something with the text to script of Charles's AMAs. And, those, like an NLP summarization bot, someone could run that through. Yeah. Maybe you have to. I think it would actually be cool online with if you're confused. I'm responding to what Patrick is saying in channel. I've been wondering, just on this note of like an aggregated kind of news / crypto site. Even though I'm making Monad Pool tool this thing for Cardano, I kind of want to integrate like Polkadot and some other chains. I don't know what those would be. I'm really disinterested in other projects into the site with the intention of giving a fair and honest look into the other chains as kind of decentralization and that kind of stuff. But really, hopefully it highlights how good and strong the Cardano blockchain is and sets up, I'm a strong believer in open markets and open competition. And so, I believe that maybe what our community needs to spur some kind of decentralization from Europe and America is to see that other chains are getting set up in South America and Africa, in more of the inner regions of Asia. And so what I would suggest to Patrick too is maybe if you're making an aggregator, make like a third chain blockchain news aggregator, right? Because I also, like it's even just staying up to date on all the Cardano stuff. Part of the reason why I thought this weekly review had some kind of small value is that you can go to one place and get if not concise, like a whole kind of perspective on what's been going on in the community. And it might be interesting to see like the same thing for like Cardano dot. I don't know who the other significant competitors are. I think originally it was like Tezos and EOS, which have like died. But community has grown by 1,000 every day for the last 4 days. This is the way. I finally watched Mandalorian a month or two ago. I think 4 weeks ago. Yeah, when my wife was in the hospital having the baby. So I finally watched Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and I finally understood this is the way. I thought it was just a Wall Street Bets meme. Like, this is how you lose money and whatever. But, yep, 105,000 Cardanians, 1,000 people online. And just to reiterate that again, like if you check out, I think it's r/dot. Is this the Polkadot community? 8 that it's just so much bigger. I don't know how they grew so fast, and not to throw shade, and I'm not into tribalism, but just kind of interesting to me. Flavor of the month. Cardano community showing up. Yeah, the community's good. Great. It is fun though. Congratulations to the 100 community pools having 3.2 million ADA being delegated to them. So, we have a special guest in the channel. Let's click over on this. And actually, I made a quick video about this because I think this is actually super powerful. And it kind of hit me. If I wanted to be a little bit, not critical, but have like some suggestions for IOHK going forward, you know, I understand they're a private company, and I understand that they are running, you know, they already are delegating 320 million, but I think the off the top of my head, I calculated by delegating to all these 100 pools versus running a fully pledged pool, they're losing $150,000 US equivalent every 5 days. That seems high right now, but maybe it was 150,000 ADA. I think it was 150,000 ADA, which, you know, right now in current is like, you know, $50,000, I believe. Like, that's the delta. Sorry for bumping the microphone. Between the extra boosted ADA rewards they would get from delegating that amount of money into their pledged pools, which gets higher returns than normal pools, and these pools, which, you know, most of us who are on this list, like Babel over here, they don't have like tons of bags of ADA with highly pledged pools, so they are kind of earning a slightly less rate of return. However, if you were to think about it, you know, I actually think that their delegation strategy has further room for improvement. I'm not just saying this because I wasn't selected, but I think it's actually, you know, the same logic that I'm applying to other people, you know, in the larger community, to spread their ADA out and don't worry so much about this epic's rewards. You know, imagine how much more, you know, ADA would be worth. And I'm not about just price pumping, but imagine for IOHK how much more their ADA would be worth if they had, you know, 1,000 stake pools that were reliably producing blocks every epoch, and how much, you know, good publicity that would get in terms of, you know, the most decentralized, not just in terms of that stupid way that CoinMarketCap was doing it, where we take the percentage of ADA staked times the market cap, and that's the decentralization. No, that's not decentralization. That's the value of the ADA that is staked. So if IOHK wants to, you know, drive adoption by increasing decentralization, they've done a very good thing. That, no, again, as a private company, there's no obligation for them to do that. And I really get upset when people are like, why don't they, you know, what are they doing with their rewards? Their rewards are theirs. They can do whatever they want with them. Their ADA is theirs. They can do whatever they want with it. What I'm kind of talking about here is just that I really wonder, the extra 150,000 ADA they get every epoch from not delegating to these pools and keeping it in a private pledge pool versus doing this, like, what's the marginal analysis on continuing to do that? Because I believe they gave up 5 or 6 pools. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Patrick. I was on a little bit of a rant there. I don't watch SpongeBob SquarePants, but I believe Patrick is a character because I have been on the internet. Yes, this guy. I'm just going to, if I ever have custom emojis, I'm going to the I'm not a SpongeBob SquarePants fan. I don't like this at all. Shame. I just in line, there's Patrick in the comments talking about the Cardano Foundation versus the IOHK or IOG strategy. Everyone, we should start calling them IOG too. Okay. Hong Kong probably doesn't have the greatest connotations right now with everything that's going on, and so IOG Global. I'm going to make an effort to do that, even though it's still IOHK and everywhere. So where were we? Cardano Foundation. Yeah, like, I think Cardano Foundation had like an actively stupid delegation strategy. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be positive, but like, they were fully saturating pools with their delegation. So, and some of the pools that they delegated to, people would run out of them, like people who were delegated to them before, I believe, because like the pool got oversaturated, and so they would have to like run. I think I saw that once or twice. Maybe it was just FUD. I'm sorry if I'm not doing my journalistic duties by fully vetting my news sources, but that's just to say that It just obviously, like, if you have X amount of ADA to delegate to increase the community, it makes sense. And I think IOG actually picked the perfect number of 3.2 million, because if it's like 1.5 million to get a block every epoch, you're still going to have a few epochs where you don't make a block, and you're going to get, some epochs where you make 2 blocks because of, the standard distribution of blocks around that 1 per epoch kind of thing. So giving it, enough to make 2 blocks per epoch, makes that tail end of that distribution just much less likely to happen. So 3 million is a really good thing. And, they're able to give that to 100 pools rather than to, if they had done 32 million, like IO or the Cardano Foundation had, then they would only have given that to 10 pools, right? Would be Forgood, Addy, Adopt, Air, Akiba, blah, blah, we'd get to like here, ANZ. And then all these other pools would still be, out in the dark trying to make it. So yeah, let's start there, because positivity is a good thing. IOHG has done, I had to catch myself, a great job in this delegation strategy. All I'm asking, and all I'm not asking for, but provoking, is I actually believe there's a serious argument to be made that it is in IOG's best interest to further defund their private fully pledged pools, because I do believe it is in their long-term interest. That's what the white paper says, right? That with fully rational players, delegating kind of thing, if you take a long-term view, you want to delegate such that you are strengthening the network. And I believe that it would go a long way. I wouldn't have any ill will to them if they choose not to do this. It totally makes sense to me for them not to do this. But I think it would be a pretty bold statement to, they're still going to own their ADA. I'm not advocating for them to give away their ADA at all. But if they were to stake an even larger, I think it's what? They have 33 pools or so that are fully pledged with 64 million. So, because I'm bad at math, that's what, 2.1 billion ADA. And what did they just do? They did 100 pools with 320 million. So this number divided by 320, they could do what? Another 660 pools. Yeah, so just to get to what I'm talking about, for my audience of 1, Patrick, I can't see how many people are in chat. If we do this and then we sort by declared pledge and we open this up to 100, you can see IOGP, IOGP, IOGP. I believe I counted this one time, and I believe it was 33. I think if we turn consolidate on, yeah, pool count, IOG is, I'm talking to you, right, Patrick? It's okay. You're my ride or die. IOGP has 33 pools with a declared pledge of 2 billion. And they make serious bank from this. It's super cool. I'm actually trying to pitch to some of my wealthier friends from previous endeavors to set up a fully pledged pool or something like that. And you can see, look, they're making on this random one I picked 64,000 to 70,000 to 70 to 80,000. Probably averages out around to like 70,000 ADA per epoch for this pool, versus if you look at like one of the Binance pools. Let's look at a Binance pool. Oh, do I find a Binance pool? I guess I could type BNP. That would make sense. That's not what I wanted to do. If I clicked on a Binance pool, the Binance pools are only, since the changeover in K, they're only minting, like 46, 34, 38, 40. Of course, these are some pretty poorly run pools. I don't know if there's something else going on, like they were oversaturated. This is saying, yeah, this one is totally oversaturated, but it doesn't matter. For our purposes, we're comparing a 64 million staked pool with like no pledge against, with literally one pledge. Way to go, Binance. Against a fully pledged pool. So these rewards, this is what I was talking about. Like, what is the economic cost of IOHG to pledge their ADA out to other pools versus staying fully pledged? It's it's the difference between the fully pledged rewards per epic and these kind of rewards per epic. Does that make sense? Right? So anyways, I spent way too long on that. But that is cool. So yeah. But all I'm saying is there could be 600. I think we got visitor number 2. Visitor number 2. I have a coin for Daddy. You want a coin for your Witcher? Number 2. Say hello. No, don't hello. You don't like to say hello? Okay, I'll give you a coin. There you go. Take this to mommy. I'm gonna lock the door. Real live. Let's see how many more kids come in during the stream. Homemade passphrase keeper. I thought this was pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen my background, but I like to this is for my German friend Festool. I like to make stuff. I'm talking to the wall right now. I thought this was a pretty cool idea. Get a punch die set. I was looking at all these expensive, like $100, $200 private key storage things. Right now I keep my seed phrase hidden inside of my computer case, written on paper. Shh. But I need to find a better long-term solution to how to store my seed phrases, and I thought this was one. So when I say inside my computer, just to be clear, it's written on a piece of paper that I hide inside my computer because like between the fan filters and some other place, maybe under the PSU. I don't know. You'll have to find it when you break into my house and steal my giant bags of Veda. Yeah. But I thought this was pretty cool. People were saying, "Oh, it's not fireproof. Aluminium melts at a low temperature." Yes, it's true. That is true. But I think in anything in life, you have to compare to what. And yes, I believe this aluminium Coke can with the die and the hammer is a lot cheaper and a lot more durable than a piece of paper. So that's a good idea. I really like that. I don't know why I didn't upvote it. And he said, when I did read this post, the first word is the name of the wallet. So you don't know 2 of this dude's seed phrases. And the first word is the first phrase of the seed phrase. So you only have to guess 23 more words to get access to SC Bill 66's wallet. So everyone get on that. Cardano is the Canada of crypto communities. Yes. This is especially relevant to me. I'm thinking about long-term moving to Canada. Hey, buddy. I locked the door so that I could try to get on in peace. Sorry, Aiden. I shouldn't say my kids' names on stream, should I? But moving to Canada, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how their crypto regulation is. I know that's not what this post is about, but I do kind of understand, as someone who grew up in the States, and Canada is like our more civilized, more rational neighbor upstairs. I think it's an apt metaphor, right? It's a metaphor because it is not an analogy with like. It's just I really feel comfortable sharing r/Cardano with my real life colleagues and coworkers who are software engineers, because it's not like almost every other crypto community was like when Moon, when Lambo kind of stuff, which personally would be kind of damaging to my brand. If I don't have a brand, but you know what I mean, like to my colleagues, if I were to kind of explain to them Yeah, personally, I want to move to Northern Europe, but I'm already married, so Patrick and I can't get hitched, and I can't get that sweet spouse visa. So yeah, long term, I'd love to be in some, you know, Scandinavian country, taking advantage of sweet government benefits and free college for my brood of children who are invading my stream. Sorry for clearing my throat in the mic. Kraken adds GBP and AUD trading pairs, including ADA. I think this is cool. It's not that big a deal, but I currently have to do the Ethereum Cardano shuffle to buy ADA, and I probably take a bit of slippage on my trading to buy Ethereum, transfer that to what do you call it, Binance, and then buy ADA there with Ethereum. I buy Ethereum just because I think it transfers and confirms faster than Bitcoin. But I also have to do this for my mother, who she's like a Coinbase user who I didn't pitch crypto to her. She just started buying crypto on her own, and then she got interested in ADA through me, but she couldn't even sign up for Kraken. She didn't want to do that, so she sends me Ethereum and Bitcoin, and then I buy it for her and store it in a separate wallet for her because I'm a good son. Your dad owns ADA too, and he got into it on his own. That's pretty cool. Well, you tell him he's got to stake on Monad, okay? Patrick has gotten more than enough staking, okay? I'm taking everybody's parents. You take IOHK and Cardano Foundation. I get your daddy, okay? That's that. It's done. Okay, spread the love, Patrick. Jesus Christ. Charles Hoskinson plans to pursue Fortune 500 companies to sell on Cardano with ADA as a solution. Hey man, if it's that, is it Tobier? If it's that Patrick money, Padye money, it's not just how much money it is; it's where it comes from, and I think that that we can safely call that good people money. ADA for my children. This is very similar to that Uzbekistan thing up above. $10. Seems very similar, and like I said, I do this with my pocket change, right? I decided instead of spending time at the cashier, I'm a little bit, I hate it when people say they're OCD. I'm not OCD. I just have a habit that I like, which is to pay with exact change because it's clean and it's better. But nowadays with COVID and all that kind of stuff, you don't want to spend too much time. People don't like handling all the things. I just give bills. I get back coins, and then I never touch them again. I put them in my little fiat piggy bank, and I take that to the ATM in Japan, and I just dump it in 100 coins at a time, and then I go over to Bitflyer and I buy big bags for my kids. I'm a little bit depressed because one of these, it all started because I kind of had a bag of coins. Yeah, I am. 10 ADA for, or not 10 ADA, 10 yen for 1 ADA. But now, we're getting close to, where is it? Well, we'll do this. 100 yen used to get me 10 ADA, and now 100 yen gets me 3 ADA. Come on, Cardano, what you doing? Why you gotta do me like that? Actually, I got into this later. I only found it in July or August, so I wouldn't have minded a little bit more. It's gone quite vertical. It's a little bit scary. Just used ADA to indirectly buy groceries. I think we saw this before. Maybe I changed the day. I think I did this last time on Monday. It's now Sunday because it's easier for me to do this on a Sunday morning than on a Monday morning. We all do know that feeling. Padye. That's gangsta. I'm also, I'll say this, I'm also glad I found Cardano in July because, to not be greedy, I've only really experienced appreciation. I guess I started really when ADA was at 12 cents going on to 15. And so there was like that 2 or 3 months where it was like falling after hitting 15, and it got all the way back down to like, 8 or 7 cents. And so that was kind of a bummer, that I had put all this money in, and then it sank down to there. But it's like when you look at let's just look at that quickly, because people get so caught up on price. But I just want to show how meaningless it is to really worry about that too much, right? And let's remove this bar too. Where was I? I think, no, it was back here. Yeah. So I was buying in, and let's use a pen over here. Can I use this? Look at my awesome trading skills. Isn't there a goddamn pen? I will figure this out maybe next time. Stay in drawing mode. No, okay. Anyways, around this area, I bought in like, I think it was here, and it went up to here. So from 12 cents to 15 cents, I'm like, yeah, I'm a genius. I got this. And I started plowing more money into it, and then it starts to go down, and a little bit of a bull flag, a bear trap, whatever. And then, or a bull trap, right? People think it's going back up, and then boom, gets slammed back down, going back down. Right? July. I was out of the crypto scene for a long time. My last time was like 2012, 2013. I've been trying to stack fiat in my bank account, working in my career, because I was a serious individual working on my job and advancing my career rather than you silly crypto boys. But yeah, I just because someone's asking in chat. I was originally mining Bitcoin and Litecoin back in 2012, 2013. I think I showed photos of my 15 AMD cards that I had rigged up in my house in grad school, because I had free electricity. I had like thick gauge extension cords running from the basement of the townhouse I was living in up to the upstairs with that. But look, that's the reason I pulled this up is just to say I was like so worried about this and this back in here. And I think the phrase that they say is, this is all going to turn into pancakes. These used to be, I just slid the chart over here. This used to look like a huge fucking kind of movement, and whoa. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that word. Sorry. But as time moves on, look, these mountains are pancaked. They're vertically compressed, because the next movements, yeah, move it to 2017. Yeah. There we go. So that's just to say, I'm sure, I'm as stupid as it is to make predictions about the future, I will say that I am confident that in the future, this insane appreciation, this insane run up here where I feel queasy, turning my 100 yen. Look at that beautiful 100 yen. Turning my focus, my beautiful 100 yen into 3 ADA will feel like a goddamned steal. Like I was just stealing money from people, right? So don't worry about the price. 100 million US dollars in Cardano treasury to fund our collective future. Danny Crypto Faye, one of the active people in the community. And yeah, he's changed this over to a linear chart with the other thing. I did suggest that, I believe. Funny. So these two used to track kind of linearly, but now because the ADA is going up linearly, but because the price of ADA is going up, parabolically or whatever, you can see the difference between these things. And the value of ADA in the treasury is going up. I do think, like we were talking about in chat before the stream started, we really need to do something about the quality of the catalyst proposals. Patrick, if you're in there, can you throw a link to it in the chat? He did a really good video that no one wanted to do, but somebody had to do, where he reviewed the idea scale Cardano things, and just take a step back from there. Idea scale, I don't get it. It's like, it's such a weird way to do things. I don't. Is this like a common platform that people have encountered? Thank you, Patrick. Links in the chat. I'll throw a link to it in the description of the video too. When this goes on to that part of YouTube, but I'm just not a fan of idea scale. just like UI UX. Like, I cannot find it. Oh, the voting app was such a shit show. I think that was just done for the, what do you call it, to fulfill some contractual obligation. Like, how many versions of Catalyst did we need? We needed the main version, we needed the flight version, we needed the Catalyst version. Like, no, just wait. Like, I would have been fine if they had put it in flight and people had to switch to the flight branch to vote. But that insane shuffle was just so amateur hour. I was like, really put a bad taste in my mouth for how to run this. Yeah, and the SPOs, that kind of thing. Like, yeah, I don't know. It was just silly. So what's going on here? Like, first of all, I think they should just have rounds. They should have open rounds. They should have open calls, and people should come up with ideas, and the best idea should win. I think we fund a lot of undervaluable ideas because the round is so limiting that weak ideas that are on target for whatever the fund's target is can get funded versus potentially, I'm not going to say strong, but stronger ideas which are not on target. Do you get what I'm saying? And a lot of eventually a lot of the things that, okay. So every from my understanding, let's look at Fund 1 on Idea Scale, if I can ever use this website. I'm just going to try clicking something. Okay, so again, this goes back to my point. I'm on DApp creation. I'm trying to find Fund 1 and Fund 2, which are the previous rounds of Catalyst, right? What I mean by on target is every fund has like a goal, right? Fund 1 challenge. How can we encourage developers and entrepreneurs to build dApps and businesses on top of Cardano in the next 6 months? I'm not going to talk about this one because I wasn't there for this. I didn't see it at all. So let's skip over to Fund 2. Oh, it's maybe the same thing. How can we encourage developers and entrepreneurs to build dApps? Like, this is a call to how do we encourage this versus encouraging this, right? And so most of the proposals were not dApp ideas that were whatever. They were like ideas for how to generate ideas. And some of them that snuck through, thankfully, were actually were not that. They were like the pet registry idea. It wasn't an idea for how to get other people to use it. It was just an idea to develop on Cardano. Yeah, I've seen some in the community comment on by community I mean like who's the guy, Doger or something on here. Let me find this, my community activity. Somebody like, so, you know, what did I do? And again, I'm just salty because nobody likes the ideas I come up with. I knew this was not on target or on challenge, but I'm working on something. I'm not saying it's worthy of other people paying to develop it, but I don't think it's as, I think it is more worthy than a lot of the ideas that are being discussed. So hell yeah, I'm going to put it up for voting, right? But I put it in the community choice section because I misinterpreted community choice to mean like it's like an open freebie thing. And it's actually, again, this is like how meta idea scale is. It's, let's vote on what the community can set for the challenge for round 5, right? That's what community choice is supposed to be. Like, just to have an open round. why do you want to like curate these things? Like, does it increase the viability and strength of ideas for all the ideas to be in a similar category? No, and the rounds are subpar. Almost everyone that you talk to says that these ideas are not really that great. Like their podcast, their whatever. They're me trying to get some stupid site that I'm working on developed, funded, which to be honest, I'm going to work on it anyways, regardless of whether it gets funded. So don't give me any money. Improving Catalyst would be abolishing this, turning it into a goddamn Google Forms survey, and people submit like a sheet. You could have a sheet, a Google spreadsheet with proposals in it that link to anything, another website, a YouTube video, whatever, right? And then you do a Google form to vote on it. Okay, I know that's not real. That's not good. It needs to be linked into Ada Holdings and whatever. But this is just such a convoluted thing. Yeah, and I was also surprised. This not to draw hate to anyone. I submitted this idea and it was archived within 2 days. For not correctly. I mean, he did the right thing. It's not on topic. It's not which challenges should be launched. And then, so I wasn't checking it. And then I was checking my email, which is another thing I never do. And I saw that there were a bunch of comments and kudos going to it. So I'm like, what's going on there? Because I thought this idea was archived. So that was funny. Right? Because it's actually this stupid idea. Oh my God, stop stalking me. I can't get away from this creepy little German kid. I'm not your daddy. Yeah. Submit your thesis for funding on Project Catalyst. That will be like, you'll get my vote. Okay. So there's that. And what am I looking at here? But yeah, it's got 5 comments. Okay, 3 of them are mine that it's got 2 comments. I commented 3 times saying I apologized yesterday because I didn't know that this was actually open for consideration until yesterday, because like I said, it got archived by one of the mods after I submitted it. But if we go to the community choice round, which somebody neglected to review in their 5-hour and 37-minute video of idea scale, what's this? We go to popular. Oh my God. I think this is the first time I've ever been near the top of something in a popularity contest. It's, in a way, that is reward enough, right? I'm basically an also ran. I didn't get a IOHK's delegation. I'm not gonna get a Catalyst funding. Who is the guy? Who's the Twitter guy that he makes a really good wallet statistic charts on Twitter? It's not sad. I'm laughing. I'm having a fun time. Is it like, he's a Dutch guy? Not Patrick. Why am I brained? What is the he's got like 20 wallets, 30 wallets. We were just commenting on his thread. Pieter Nierop. Pieter. Hey Pieter. One more wallet. This huge props to Pieter for doing this. This is not a subreddit R review. This is just like a weekly Cardano review and my therapy session to the internet. One more wallet possible to create a data list to then reach the maximum of 30. What other stake pool absolutely should be on my list? So what this guy has done, because there is not multi-delegation in Daedalus or Yoroi right now, is he's made 30 goddamn wallets and split his stuff, his ADA across it, and delegated to all these pools. Like, that's super cool. I don't know how many times people have messaged me on Reddit or Twitter or whatever saying, oh, I love what you're doing. Like, when multi-pool delegation is released, I'm going to delegate to you. And I'm like, thanks to you in the future. It's really cold out here right now. I would appreciate 108 a blanket if you could just throw that onto my pool and me. That would be super chill. I'm not ungrateful. It is, and more, to the point, it's nice that people are saying that they like what you're doing. That like that is cool in and of itself. So what happened? I said, hey Peter, I like this work. Blah 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 blah. I got nine hearts, man. 9. Look at this stuff. I got retweets. People are like, yeah, do this. Okay, was it Patrick who retweeted this? Who retweeted this? Okay, Slice. And he did too. That's good. Okay. But I'm sure. It's Babel again. Basically I have one friend on the internet. And then and then I see this. But you know what? You want to know something super cool, everybody? Despite all of this, despite all the hurdles I've had in running my pool this week, let's check this out. Let's check this out. I started from the bottom. Now I'm here. Holy Harry Potters. We got a 37,000 stake on stream the other day, and I don't know who this dude is. Yeah, pool PM. I didn't know how to use. I didn't get this while I was not a pool operator. Like, why would I want to see this? But as a pool operator, I think this is actually the most valuable tracking site, because like this is basically like my most addictive feed right now. Refresh. Has anyone delegated to my pool? Has anyone delegated to my pool? Has anyone delegated to my pool? And if you get a nice big person to delegate to your pool, they have little, like killer whales or blue whales and stuff on it. No, I don't use the Pool Tool Telegram pool bot. I have Pool Tool on the app on my phone, which gives me some alerts about like blocks and stuff. But I mean, I don't really like Telegram. I think it's kind of a cesspool, and I'd like to get off of it, to be honest. Did I click my messages in? No, I'm not going to do that on stream. Okay. Let's ostensibly get back to r/Cardano. Right. That's cool, Patrick. Why staking is more powerful and beneficial than the competition. Do I want to read this or do I want to go? I'm tired. I'm depressed. I'm like the most happy I've been talking about all the stuff, all the second places I've gotten this week. It's just been, I just want to take a bow to everybody. Hey, I just got to say this. Do you have beautiful children and a beautiful wife? No, you don't, and I do. So who's winning now? Boom, internet. Boom. Yeah. By the way, if anyone wants to buy a child for a couple million ADA, let me know. Not going to be my children, but we'll figure something out for you. Why staking ADA is more powerful and beneficial than the competition? What are they talking about? Staking. They pay fees in Ethereum. They can pay in their own token. Okay. Yeah. You can pay in your own token. Cool. I see this go back and forth all the time. Yeah, you can pay. No, you can't pay in your own token. Oh, you can only pay in ADA. I believe the definitive answer is projects can pay in their own token if it's voted on in Voltaire that they can pay in their own token. Is that the current state of affairs? That, no? Am I spreading disinformation? Fake news? Monad is fake news. Current state is just ADA, but what I'm saying is the plan is that in the future, Voltaire will enable the community to possibly accept other tokens as the transactional kind of fee payment medium. Right, PayPal asked them to listen. I mean, I think this is so stupid. Like, and even on Twitter, like whenever you direct like the horde of Cardano people to vote on something, or to like, shill Cardano to some, social media influencer, and then it's just clear like, oh, the Cardano community found your poll, right? And now like 30,000 people are gonna vote Cardano, and like look hashtag Cardano ADA in the bottom. Like, I don't think that's an effective way of doing something. I want to increase the quality of technical development and solving problems with using Cardano in the blockchain, rather than, all these people are so concerned about marketing and marketing and marketing. Like, come off of it. You're not selling t-shirts. I don't think ads are going to do it. I heard this was a good interview. I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, that's also why. I mean, I recently joined Twitter finally, after some 30 years of not being on Twitter. And I plan on watching this later, but it's a 2-hour interview, and I didn't have time to do that this week. So I think this is supposedly, I've heard that this interview is the antidote to this kind of stuff, and like that's kind of like Ivan on Tech and BitBoy type interviews, which are a little, Charles, would you name an epic after me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you can tell what I feel about that. Introducing Cardano. Explain it like I'm 5 subreddit. I'm a little bit. That's a good idea. We got a lot of newcomers, and I love Reddit. It is like the only social media platform that I like. But I do worry a little bit about fragmenting the Cardano community. I used to post a bunch of stuff to our Cardano stake pools and Cardano, and then I noticed that the only people in Cardano stake pools were other stake pool operators who were trying to get people to delegate to them. And it was like a little bit like of a, what do you call it, a sausage factory as a party kind of thing. Like, and it's the same thing in Telegram, right? The only place you're allowed to advertise stake pools is to other channels and mediums that are really saturated and really full of stake pools, which I guess is the point for why they do it, right? Like, thank you, Patrick. It's good that they do it, because if they didn't do it, you would how do you say? Our Cardano would be overrun by stake pool ads. So I totally understand that. But I do think there's a big difference between what, people like Viper or myself, or I think Patrick, are doing, which is like actually putting out compelling either content or tools or something like that, and including like a line at the bottom, like brought to you by, Babel, brought to you by Viper, brought to you by Monad, right? And my suggestion for this is I've come up with 2 ideas. I know Reddit doesn't have signatures, but I think that like if this was a normal like forum BBS, stake pools should be able to have a signature, and they should only be able to change their signature to something that is approved by the moderators of the community. And so what I think, we could kind of like backport onto our Cardano is, like a little, ASCII text block that can be included at the bottom of every post that you make as a stake pool operator on our Cardano. And if you're submitting useless, like karma farming type content type things, and the community tries to like downvote you, then your stuff isn't seen, right? But if you're actually being an active, useful, participating member of the community, then yeah, you can have like 2 lines of text at the bottom of your comments or posts that say, if you like this, please consider delegating to Babel, Viper, Monad, whatever your pool is, right? And and there could be some kind of like a moderation thing where, you know, you make a PR request. Can I make this change to my signature? And then, you know, the moderation says, no, that's too blatant. Like, we don't like that. Tone it down a bit. Keep your old one, whatever. But that is to say that, yeah, it's probably the right time for this ELI5 subreddit. I kind of feel like a lot of these subreddits could be better managed as like days of the week in our Cardano, right? Like Friday EL5 day and, you know, weekend meme day. And, you know, I think that's the way most communities do this, because otherwise you're just fragmenting and these other subreddits don't get any eyeballs, right? Like, just look at this one. Let's go up. Cardano developers has 1,100 members. Stake pools has, I think developers is good because it's actually like a concentrated community of people who, you know, can benefit from like a higher signal to noise ratio of just development chat. Yeah, I think our StarCraft are like all these like sports channels. You should be able to set your flare rather than having like 30 flares that like you have to use. Like, there should be a user flare, which is just like your stake pool, something like that, right? And people who like or delegate to that pool can choose that pool as their flare. That's an idea. It's a great idea, Patrick. What did I just do? We're gonna wrap this up soon. I haven't drunk any of the coffee that my wife got me. I'm officially a YouTube blogger because I'm having coffee time with my stream. Did I say blogger? I think the word is vlogger, right? By the way, I don't know if you could tell, I changed my camera setup around a bit. If you don't like this angle, if you don't like my scraggly beard, if you, you know, what do you think? Above the monitor cam, I felt that it was a little bit forehead centric. I think I had it over on my right for a while, looking over at a more aesthetically pleasing part of my room. But I think I might raise it a few more inches and get a little bit more eye level. I think right now you're looking up into my nose hairs. So where did we get to? How many posts did we review? A case for Cardano. This is another one 2 days ago that I didn't have time to watch that I need to watch. These are the things that I really like. Is these Goguen development updates, those kind of monthly things. So I think I really appreciate that, you know, IOHG does this kind of stuff. And, you know, working in software development myself, it kind of feels almost like being in on a sprint review. You know, if you work in an agile company, it's kind of like, you know, I think it might be an interesting idea because these do get kind of polished up a bit, right? Is what would be great is, and I think it would actually be a good thing, is to address some of the, like, you know, people have this impression that Cardano takes forever to do something and they're always being late. Is it would be cool, maybe, and I can understand reasons for not doing it too, but to kind of like to have, you know, a sprint review kind of thing where like you could talk about the delays that are happening in the project and explain them to people in a way so that they are not concerned about the delays, but appreciate that you're doing things the right way, right? That you're not going to cause this, you know, parody Gavin Woods $150 million Ethereum. It's not even 150 million. I looked at this last night. It was like 50,000 Ethereum. The present day value, of which is now like 600 million US dollars. Like, so turn that kind of like downside or perceived downside of, oh, you guys are slow. Why don't you work faster? Why is Charles talking about something else? Why doesn't he work? Why doesn't he code more on Cardano? You know, that, yeah, I understand there's 300 people and that there's a bunch of teams working on a bunch of different things. But some kind of transparency, or not even accountability, because it's not like holding your feet to the fire. It's just like, yeah, we underestimated the amount of effort required to do X, Y, or Z. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's just Charles. I'm sure Charles is writing all the making all the PRs, all the commits, and doing everything, right? Does Charles even code on Cardano anymore? I doubt it. And does anyone have any insights, into what it's like to work at IOG or Emergo? I saw there was a recent job posting, and it would be really cool, actually. I would love it if there was some kind of like, what level of Haskell do you need to have? Because I I would love to work on it full time, and I'm like halfway through. This is gonna go to my other audience member of one. Hey, Patrick, go buy this book. What is it? If you're interested in learning Haskell, and even if you don't know any programming, this is like a really cool book. I'm about halfway through it. It's a little bit expensive. It's a little bit long. I think it's like 1,000 pages long. Right? Yeah, I should totally be the CTO of an organization. That would make total sense. That would not make sense. My ADA would become worthless. I think learning Haskell is difficult. I'm about halfway through this thing, and I bought it before it was finished, and the final version has come out now, and it's pretty cool how it's written. Christopher Allen and Julie Moronuki. I want to say that Moronuki because it sounds Japanese almost, but that's probably a Moronuki. I don't know, but they build up this this is a phrase that Elon Musk has popularized in the past couple years, but from first principles means like from the bottom up, from like the first axiom, like how do you set the rules in place so that without referencing anything outside of this book you can understand how to move forward. So Haskell is a super serious hardcore programming language. I don't know if anyone has seen, there's grammatical typos on my website, but Haskell is a purely functional, statically typed programming language. So I made this very clever pun, if I do say so myself, of purely lazy staking, because it's also a lazily evaluated language, which is cool because you can do stuff like take from an infinite list, right? And I think, where's my typo? Purely function staking. Yes. What are you doing? I've seen this so long, but I've been too lazy to fix it because my goal with my website was to have a website that is not so bad that people choose not to delegate to it. Right? I did pay all of $10 on a marketplace to buy I think this is React. It's a static website, right? And I did change some of this boilerplate text, but I'm technically I'm an architect, or I went to school. I have 2 master's degrees in architecture, where I studied design. What architects will tell you is the most serious design discipline, right? And I basically taught myself programming while I was doing those degrees, because I encountered Arduinos, and I got really interested in how do we access data and information. And if architects will tell you, let's pull this up. Let's do an architecture deep dive. Modern architects who do this kind of Barcelona pavilion. And by the way, shout out to Germany. And what is this house? I'm such a bad architect now. But these kind of very clean things, that modern architecture was invented through, flat plate glass, steel, and concrete. Germany is the best country. Quick deep dive. Why are Germans so good at design? What I was taught was that it's a pretty cool idea, actually. Like, if you think about it, Americans have shitty design and shitty engineering. I'm sorry, but they do. And the argument that I heard was actually related to like mercantilism, is that the UK, or England back then, because like they would extract raw materials from the US and, you know, send slaves to Africa and like bring the, so they'd send slaves to America, they'd do stuff there, they'd extract raw materials from America, they'd send that to the UK, they'd make stuff in the UK, and then they'd send back like really crappy, poorly made things to sell to the Americans. And that's why like you have these things like Walmart in America and like these like plastic crap everywhere that overflows and everything, because they like Americans have no appreciation for design, or like there's just no history of it. Whereas Germans, because they didn't have a colonial empire where they could sell cheap crap to and get cheap, you know, raw materials from, they had this novel problem that they had to make things that people wanted. What a crazy idea. You have to make something and people, you know, how many like French-American wars happened because, you know, France wanted the right to sell stuff to the American colonies and the UK didn't want them to, right? So like the countries literally went to war to protect their like their economic monopolies and tariffs on other countries, right? But Germany, because there's very, very few and very, very small German colonies overseas as a result of Germany not becoming a nation state until the early 1900s, I think it is, right? Pretty late to the game in terms of like, you know, the bunch of principalities and, you know, autos and that's about the extent of my German. Vander somethings, right? Vanderpools, Vanderroos, because I have it in front of me. But I think it's a pretty interesting take that, you know, it's kind of embedded in the culture, and you get these movements like the Bauhaus movement and everything for why, you know, Germans basically had to make stuff that people had wanted to seek out. Wander, yeah, you whatever, man. You're European. Go wash yourself in a bidet, you goddamn clean person. Yeah, I like Germanic and whatever peoples. I think we'll do one more. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about before. Let's help Raul Paul on Twitter find Cardano. So let's go open this up. This is going to be fun. Let's go check it out. This is like every view more replies. How many people, is there a way to see how many people replied to this? I see a lot of Cardano stuff. I don't know if that's because I follow Cardano and I'm getting into the echo chamber. There's some other coins. There's some other stuff. But yeah. This was a really frustrating article. I know this is not what this is about, but they're talking about number of validators on popular blockchains, and they left out ADA, right? Yeah, I mean, I had a very useful conversation, I felt, with Ada Angels, right? And I agree that during that conversation, I just scratched my nose with my microphone. Is that super annoying on stream? Is that I felt like it was better than picking my nose or scratching it with my finger. Okay. What was it? There's definitely a place for trying to onboard people to the community, and one of the things I talked to her about was like, it's super cool that like Cardano doesn't have this RTFM culture, right? Where I'm used to in most technical communities that I'm a part of, people basically just say, you know, effing noob, like go figure it out yourself. You know, like it's like there's this American TV show called The Rugrats, and Angelica's the big mean sister to all the babies, and she says something I've carried with me my entire life is if you have to ask, you'll never know, right? Which is kind of antithetical to onboarding and letting other people know that. Yeah, did you see that transition? Can we do that? Did somebody buy a streaming pack? And is somebody super pissed that the stream pack's like one-click install function doesn't work in Linux? So if I want to take advantage of all the transitions and the different things, I have to use Windows to do it. Wah, wah. No thanks. So I guess I have to figure out OBS and do some things. But I did figure out how to make a stinger transition, and I think that's going to be about it. I do want to talk quickly at the end of this right now, since I've wasted everyone's time. How long has this been? An hour and 20 minutes. There was a cool idea that this guy James was talking about in channel, and because I have someone here who's kind of a developer, I want to pitch a quick thing where we were talking about, what is the idea? I'm using a mouse, so I apologize for my. If we have an NFT, right? This guy basically, he was the guy who made this really great Ada rap video on YouTube. I didn't know that he was, and someone else linked it, and he's like, "Oh, that's mine," and people were like, "No, shut up! What are you talking about?" But he connected with me later on Twitter, and yes, the guy, the random guy who's been liking and commenting on my YouTube channel, saying great content, is he has like 20 times the amount of views I have on any of my videos. I'm like, what are you doing hanging out in my chat? I should be over in your chat. Yeah, it's a little bit inbred, right? But so he was like, I want to release my songs, and have them, be an NFT. And I had to like do a little bit of Googling and understand like what does it entail for that? Because some people, I think, when they make an NFT, like they actually put the asset that it is like on chain. Like there's this guy goes by DeFi Authority, and he's making some pixel art, and I believe like he's actually embedding that like pixel art, encoding like the array that represents that thing, like RGB 255 whatever values, into the transaction, and whoever owns that, I guess, transaction owns the asset that it is underlying it. But I think the cool thing that I kind of want to propose for maybe the next Catalyst round, it's just about ownership, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, Paddy. I didn't get it. Like, okay, you own it, but like a CryptoKitty, everyone else can see it. Everyone else can like. So what does it mean to own it? Like, okay, you own it, but is there any point to owning it? Because anyone can look over the blockchain and like recreate it, right? If it's on chain, no. So that was kind of confusing to me, and I was trying to wrap my head around it. I was looking. So the idea that I was having is I basically don't like all these Uber, Spotify, Airbnb, like all these Web 2 or 3.0 companies that are basically like a middleman for reputation. And especially in the media realm, what they're doing is they're just like taking a cut, right? Like 20 to 40%. Like YouTube takes, I think, like 30 to 40% of ad revenue. Twitch is like 90%, stuff like that. That's very relevant to me now that I'm trying to get my pool out there on these mediums. But the idea that I had was that what if we were to make on Cardano a system whereby we had a little, a mobile application which scanned the, let's call it the blockchain, and looked for, little filtered for transactions. This is, I'm just going to say iOS to make it explicit, to build up a catalog or a library, right? And it's looking for, some kind of, in the metadata that's there that says, hey, like this is a song. It is, this artist, it is this track title, it is blah, 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 blah. And it is, this NFT. So it's pointing to an NFT, right? I guess, like who owns this song? And maybe it's also pointing to an IPFS. IPFS is, from my understanding, I was looking at this or something like Filecoin, which is like a distributed, hosting type service. Oh, Oh, Filecoin is okay. Yeah. So you can see how much Googling I've been doing. I've been drawing to myself. So you have an iOS app, you have blockchain. I got really in love with my transitions, by the way. On the blockchain, there's a bunch of, I'm going to try to draw a squiggly bracket with my mouse. Metadata. Yeah. So I didn't, my feeling was, that pixel art on Cardano, that works because you can embed, I think, 16 KB into a transaction. But I don't think, like, if you wanted to make a Spotify killer, which I actually think there's a really strong use case for, and we'll talk about that in a second, then why would you, like, you don't want to like split up your song into like 16 KB chunks and post it all on the blockchain. So I actually think it makes sense to use Filecoin and IPFS, which I just learned are the same thing, or I guess this is like the protocol which Filecoin runs on, right? So you're actually you're an artist, let's say here, and you make a song, and you basically, when you make it, you use this kind of application to say, I own this song and I'm putting it here, right? And then you take that information and you put it here, right? Something like that. The arrows are wrong. I haven't thought about this. But then there's a little like a front end app which basically scans over the blockchain for relevant metadata to see, oh, this thing is a song, and my users, whether they're watching videos or they're watching songs, they see that and they say, where is it? It's here. And oh, who does it belong to? This is only relevant for the second part of this. But let's say to use this app, a user says, I want to spend $1 a day on content, right? This is where I'm a little bit, this is probably a bad idea. It probably, the transaction should probably happen at the point of consumption, but per unit time of entertainment that I am consuming, of media that I'm consuming, I want to have this burn rate to support things, right? And maybe this happens in a different way, but this is just an example of how something like this might work. When you look at this and when you click a song or whatever, if you listen to 100 songs that day, everyone who owns the NFT for that song or that video gets paid 1 cent. Right? Exactly. So I think Patrick's got this, and I think we should actually make a proposal for this, because I mean, it's kind of generic. It's like a, programming 101, like let's make a to-do app. But I mean, the Catalyst proposals, how do you prevent someone from getting the NFT for free? So that's why I'm saying I believe, well, let's rehash this. No one is getting the NFT. The NFT still belongs to the artist, because the NFT is just like the symbol of ownership. And also, an artist can sell on this NFT to a, label, potentially. I would argue that labels should cease to exist and artists should own their content. But it is possible that the owner of an NFT is not necessarily the artist, right? And an artist might do that, right? If someone's starting up, they might go to someone, and labels might provide the function of, I will give you $1,000 for an NFT that we don't really know if it has any value. And the artist might do that because, they might be more interested in having access to $1,000 than, 1 cent from every play for the next year, because they need $1,000 to get by. And the only point of the NFT basically is that there's this kind of, I believe, to answer Patrick's question a little bit, like this might operate in a kind of smart contract kind of way, where you only get the secret key to unencrypt the file on the IPFS storage when you pay this 0.01 cents to the owner of the NFT, and then you get your content. Does that make sense, Patrick? Did we just make something on stream? Yeah, right? Literally. So, what do you think? You want to write this up? We're gonna make a proposal for Catalyst. I think this could be the reason I think this is so cool is, I'm not a huge fan of like Taylor Swift and whatnot, but there is this huge, what was that big scandal that was, my wife is a huge Taylor Swift fan, and I love my wife, so I like Taylor Swift. But the huge scandal involved like buying back her media rights to her first albums, and now she's re-recording them and that kind of thing. I actually think there would be a lot of demand for a platform like this, especially with all like the deplatforming stuff going on, where you basically have two apps and all this infrastructure. You have an app for artists to publish stuff and to both create the NFT and upload the file or the content to IPFS. And then you have a front end for the consumption of those things, right? Maybe they're the same app. I kind of would want to split them into two separate things and just keep things simple. And, I was kind of geeking out on this. Like I was saying, part of the reason I don't think it's viable to store things on the Cardano blockchain is like, one, it seems like there are special purpose hosting files service chains, which are explicitly like, where proof of work is replaced by like proof of hard drive space or whatever. I haven't read anything about them. But they're explicitly chains designed to store things, right? And they say like, I Google store valuable things. So I do believe like that most of the stuff that gets sent onto the IPFS should be like a FLAC recording of a master audio track, right? Which is like the golden master of the song. And so there might actually be a second layer of this where there's like a transcoding service in here, right? Where after you pay this thing, maybe you get sent over to this service, which is reading you'd store the whole file on IPFS, right? That's what I'm saying is like it just makes sense to not do it on the Cardano blockchain. But what I'm saying is like if you have like a 200 megabyte FLAC file, right? You might actually have this other intermediate service, which is like referencing that 200 megabyte FLAC file and then converting it into 3MB MP3 for consumption on the mobile device. Like, so obviously like the more you think about it, the more complex it gets, but I would make a strong case for that this IPFS thing. Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. Files can be offline. I haven't looked at it enough. That's why I want to get maybe yourself or some other people involved in it. But what's the idea here? The idea, I'm guessing on IPFS you can kind of pay for redundancy. Is it like, is that how it kind of works? Like, if you're willing to, it's kind of, I'm guessing it has something to do with like transaction fees. The more you're willing to pay for this file to be made available, the more redundant it is, and the more number of people are storing it on their like local worker or whatever it's called in the IPFS scheme of things. So yeah, so what? How do they get offline easily, Patrick? And why am I having this conversation live on stream? Oh. So IPFS, you're saying like if you are, yeah, okay, that makes sense. IPFS is the protocol. If you ran your own servers, you can host them through IPFS, and they're available. If you pay other people with Filecoin, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I'm confusing like ADA and Cardano to IPFS and Filecoin, right? So yeah, okay, I think that's good. I think maybe this chat got super uninteresting for the vast majority of people, but maybe we'll split this out and do something else with it. So thank you everyone for joining. It's gonna get super serious again. Hey, just because I took Patrick's daddy from him. If you want to support a great pool that's seeing some great growth, please go over to check out. Leave this. Check out Babel. They are right now able to produce a block every epoch, and coming soon they will be producing more than that because they just got an IOHK delegation, and they're doing cool stuff. And he's a young guy, and he could really use out your help. So we appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day, good weekend. I'll see you back here again next week on another not episode of r/Cardano the week in review. Okay? And I'm going to go check out YouTube now because apparently the stream has been broken the whole time on YouTube. Okay.